Welcome to Tom's True Crime. Today we take you to Yonkers, New York. Also, I'd love to know, where are you from? May 2013, Yonkers, New York. Jackie Smuroff, 26 years old, was from a big family, living with her parents, her brother James, and cousin Lynette. They spent time going to the beach and having lots of fun. With 15 other cousins and lots of aunts and uncles, their home was always lively. Jackie's mom had worked as a nurse, which inspired the young Jackie to follow in her footsteps, and when her mom sadly passed away, Jackie knew she had to finish what she started and make her proud. Her brother James said Jackie stepped up in such a way when they lost their mom. She became more of a maternal figure to everyone. Jackie taught them to drive, to cook, took them shopping, and was always there to give advice. Jackie had patiently waited 5 years to get onto her nursing course, and was finally accepted onto an accelerated one-year nursing program. By May 2013, she was just 6 months away from graduating from the nursing school, getting straight A's all the way, and was doing a placement at Yonkers Medical Center in the maternity ward. Studious, selfless, and always smiling, Jackie never shied away from hard work and had a positive outlook no matter the situation. On May 20th, 2013, Jackie was on a rotation shift at the hospital. It had been a long day, but nothing out of the ordinary. It was Friday, and the weekend was almost here. It was also the student's last day at the hospital, so there was a buzz of excitement about the place. Everybody was more than ready for a well-deserved break. Jackie even made plans over the weekend to visit some friends in Las Vegas. At 6:55 p.m., Jackie told her supervisor she was going to quickly grab something out of her car. It would only take a couple of minutes. She entered the third-floor parking lot and headed to her car parked in the corner. She paused for a second before walking away from her car. She then stood still for a moment and changed direction again. 17 minutes later, her black Jeep sped out of the building. It was now nearing the end of everyone's shift, around 9 p.m. The supervisors wanted to get all of the students together to wrap up. But Jackie was still missing. Her purse and coat were sat in the staff room. She hadn't signed out, and her phone was just ringing out. Concerned, her instructor grabbed someone from security, and they went out into the parking lot to Jackie's usual space. But it was silent and empty. A few minutes later, Jackie's car screeched back into the building and back up to the third floor. Her instructor started waving, and the car briefly stopped before reversing back, driving past them and going back out of the building again. It went without saying this was not like Jackie. Her instructor was not only alarmed, but frankly unconvinced that it was even Jackie in that car. She wasted no time and called the police. The following morning, there was still nothing from the 26-year-old. It had now been about 10 hours since anyone had last seen her. About 15 of her friends and colleagues had turned up at the police station. They could not stress enough how odd this was for Jackie. Something was seriously wrong, and they weren't leaving until an investigation was underway. Officers got it loud and clear, and detectives started over in the hospital's parking lot. Her ex-boyfriend, whom she was still friendly with, started calling around her family to let them know. Over at the parking lot, they found blood on the ground where her Jeep had been. And just an hour later at 9 a.m., they located her car. It was locked and neatly parked in a visitor's bay outside an apartment just half a mile from the hospital. Inside, it was her laptop and a random university ID card on the back seat. Jackie had no link to this person, nor would she have any business having this on her. The ID card had actually been reported stolen a couple of days before she went missing. They felt confident they could rule out a stranger being involved. Someone knew her schedule, had stolen an ID to gain entry, and potentially lured her outside and took off in the car with Jackie in it. A random person just hanging around a car park waiting for an opportunity to attack or kidnap someone was just not what this was going to be. Hospital records show that 30 minutes after Jackie walked to her car, the emergency ward in the hospital got a call from Jackie Smuroff, or at least someone saying they were Jackie. They asked to be put through to their instructor, but this wasn't the right ward. The woman then asked the receptionist to pass a message on for her, saying that her father had had a heart attack. As they towed her car away for more analysis, Jackie's brother James suddenly got a message from his sister's phone, simply saying, "I'm fine." Another message followed, "I'm not missing, my phone has been acting crazy. It deleted everything. All these texts have killed my battery." All her friends then started receiving texts en masse, one after the other. Every message was a different story. Everything from she had a flat tire to she needed a social media break. She was sick and wanted a rest. Her ex-boyfriend, knowing there was now activity on her phone, texted her right away. The message he got back, "Who is this?" By May 31st, the reward was set at $20,000, and just a few days later, it had jumped to almost 50. The Smuroff family had hired a private investigator as well. Over 100 volunteers joined in the search, forming 14 teams, spreading out over miles and miles. The reward was going up day by day and was now sitting at $100,000. As they dug into Jackie's relationship a bit more, one name started coming up. Jackie had been having issues with an old school friend, Olivia Forrizzi. The pair had been close for years, even moving together to go to college. Olivia had had a relationship with a man named Ben, and they shared a 6-year-old daughter. But things had ended on not so great terms, and this was when the problems for Jackie and Olivia began. Before Olivia and Ben ever became an item, Jackie and Ben had gone on a couple of dates, but they both knew pretty quickly that their relationship was meant to be just friendly. Nothing was ever romantic or intimate between them, and it was after this that Olivia and Ben got together. Despite the timeline, Olivia became fixated with this non-existent relationship. As Olivia's behavior started to change, she and Jackie had started to drift. Jackie and Ben were good friends. She was not going to stop talking to him just because Olivia wanted her to, nor was she going to give any attention or validity to her strange and obsessive claims. Jackie had been dating someone else for ages. Ben was just living his life as well. Whatever Olivia had convinced herself of could not have been further from the truth. Detectives went to speak to 27-year-old Olivia, and it was obvious there was no love lost there. She didn't even try to pretend otherwise. "I've actually been trying to work her." "Since when?" "Almost a week now, to tell her to stay away from my daughter. And talking to her friends and such, we understand that you guys had a tumultuous relationship." "A tumultuous relationship? She was my best friend who slept with my then-fiancé." They then tracked down Ben. He was up front, and detectives said he seemed really honest and genuinely upset. He had been a regular face amongst the many individuals for Jackie, and had also been part of the searches. Ben told them all about his problems with Olivia, and how she had not only been tormenting him, but his family as well. In one particularly rough patch, Olivia moved back to live with her family, taking their daughter with her. Ben was desperate to make sure his daughter had the best life, and said this meant he would occasionally attempt to give things another go, but it never worked out. He showed them a string of messages from Olivia, a lot of them pertaining to Jackie. "I hope you find what you're looking for in someone as disgusting as her." Another message read, "It's the only thing that will convince me you are trying to be better. Otherwise, be prepared to be held accountable for your bad actions and decisions." Another said, "Jackie has dug her own grave by being a homewrecker and whore. She won't be an issue for much longer. FYI, you pushed me into insanity with you putting whore before your own family. You should have loved her and I more, but you loved sex and attention more. Those two are exactly what you are going to get now. You reap what you sow." They were incessant and getting more and more vicious. More of them read, "And you can't protect anyone. Your whore will get what she deserves. FYI, she won't pass her midterms." Olivia also sent messages to Jackie, one of which read, "If you were really anybody's friend, mine or Ben's, you would just F off and leave my family alone. But all you are is the whore who had nothing better to do and followed me. That's all you will ever be. The whore who slept with other people's men and brothers because no one wanted you. You aren't my friend. You are always just a parasite." He then shared something with the police that he hadn't shared with anyone else, a recording he had taken of one of Olivia's outbursts as she was sat in the car with her daughter in the back. "I asked you, can we just be honest about Jackie? Because she's the one issue that I really am having a hard time dealing with." "That's not what you said at all." "Okay, well then fine. Starting from now, we are going to be honest about Jackie. Do you understand me? Whether you sleep with her, whether you share food with her, whether you talk to her, you will be honest with me. Look at me, you will be honest with me regarding her. Otherwise, I will take your life and hers, and you can take that to the grave with you." "Why?" "Because you lied about her so many times, it's hard to believe that you didn't sleep with her. You deserve to die for your lies, as does she, and you will if you do it again. This is your last and final warning." "Why? Do you understand me? It's your last and final warning." Ben said Olivia was briefly held in mental health facilities, being diagnosed with manic depression and bipolar disorder. She would frequently just turn up at his house where he was living with his mom, sometimes even letting herself in and just sitting quietly in a room until they found her. Ben eventually got full custody of their daughter, which further angered Olivia and meant she moved back home to be closer to everyone. But it seemed that the final straw had come when a judge issued a restraining order against her, barring her from coming within 100 feet of Ben or his immediate family. Interestingly for this case, it was just 3 days before Jackie went missing. Almost a week has passed and still no sign of Jackie Smuroff, a 26-year-old nurse who seems to have vanished after going to her car at a hospital. Meanwhile, police in Yonkers, New York are talking to police about an unsolved murder last year of nurse Ava Smuroff. They have the same last name, that they are both nursing students, that they both disappeared mysteriously. But in that case, the car was unlocked. In our case, the vehicle was secured. It was locked up as if the last person to drive that vehicle wanted to make sure that the interior was protected. Now police in Yonkers are examining more surveillance footage, hoping one camera got a good look at Jackie Smuroff's car. The security team at the nursing school had been going through all of the data to find out where the stolen ID had been scanned before it ended up in the back of Jackie's Jeep. And on May 26th, just a day before she went missing, the card had been swiped around the building. It was Olivia. She had obtained the card early on May 26th, pretending to be a student looking to join. After she got the ID, she started sneaking around, trying some of the locked doors and going into one of the classrooms. She then left and waited until the building closed and most people had gone home. She came in again via the back exit, put on a white lab coat and roamed around the same classroom, checking computers and files. She went up to the teacher's desk where she picked up the student schedules, one of which would have been Jackie's. After an hour and a half, Olivia left, now knowing exactly when Jackie would be in the next day and on her break. Analysis of the phone showed that both Olivia and Jackie's cell phones had been together at the same time after she went missing. And the day after Jackie walked into the parking lot, Olivia walked into an Apple store asking to unlock an iPhone. She told the technician her daughter had locked it by accident. They managed to unlock the phone, and Olivia left with it, going into a Starbucks. At this point, Jackie's friends had started getting the odd and clearly fake messages. The cell phone towers confirmed that this was Jackie's iPhone, and the cameras in the Starbucks even showed Olivia texting everyone. Even though they had no body, they definitely had enough for an arrest. 27-year-old Olivia Forrizzi was arrested at her house and charged with first-degree murder. A pair of shoes by the door had Jackie's blood on the bottom of them. A strand of hair in the back of Jackie's car was also a match to Olivia, and her DNA was also on the steering wheel. Police in northern New York have arrested a high school friend of a nursing student missing for more than 3 months. Jail records indicate that Olivia Forrizzi is being held on suspicion of murder. Her family said, "Our primary concern is and will always be to find Jackie and bring her home with us. At this point, she is still missing, and we will fight to bring her home every day until we have her with our family again. The reality is we don't have Jackie. That's a piece we're missing until we find her, until her location is known." A search of her computer showed that in the days leading up to her disappearance, Olivia had looked up inducing heart attack without leaving a trace, following someone without being caught, how to break locks, and highly toxic gases such as potassium chloride and carbon monoxide. And after she went missing, she had searched Jackie's name over 300 times. On September 17th, 10 days after Olivia was arrested, the day her family were hoping would not come did. Jackie Smuroff's remains were found in a shallow grave in a remote and rugged area. 3 months had now passed, and it was a skeleton, so her cause of death could not be determined. She was found about 12 miles away from Olivia's house. Authorities in New York say human remains found in a Yonkers area on Saturday are those of the missing nursing student who disappeared in May. Police declined to release any further information, saying only that the remains were identified after tests by the county coroner. In September 2012, after pleading not guilty, Olivia Forrizzi went on trial. She now admitted to killing her but claimed it was an accident, a heat-of-the-moment attack, and that she was provoked by Jackie. Her attorney said this made it voluntary manslaughter and not first-degree murder. Olivia did not testify, but she showed absolutely no remorse. She just sat staring blankly. No emotion, no care, nothing. There's obviously things missing in terms of how Jackie ended up in the parking lot with Olivia. Had Olivia just stood around waiting for her, knowing her schedule? Had she sent her a message to lure her outside? The prosecution could not say that for sure, but they theorized that Olivia snuck up on her and attacked her with a sharp object. This explained the blood and how she then would have easily been able to get her into the back of the car and take off. The district attorney said, "Sociopath, that's what we have here." She's laughing as she is talking about killing people. This is a planned assault, a strategic assault on someone who never saw it coming. Olivia was found guilty of first-degree murder, and much the same as she had been throughout the trial, she did not react at all and left the courtroom without saying a word. She did, however, later say that if she had been on the jury, she probably would have convicted herself as well. The judge said he had never seen a case with more condemning evidence in all his career. Olivia was later sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Two local families torn apart by a murder sparked by a jealous rage. Media reported on the sentencing. Today, a judge sentenced Olivia Forrizzi to 25 years to life in prison for killing nursing student Jackie Smuroff. Olivia Forrizzi never apologized for killing nursing student Jackie Smuroff, convicted in October for her murder. Today, the judge says she never showed a hint of remorse. The family said, "The judge made a really great observation, and we always felt, sitting in trial, that she felt no remorse. Just stared directly at our family with a blank stare." Smuroff's uncle Jordan Brown is disappointed. He says the family had hoped for a mandatory life sentence without parole. "We might have to go back up there. And who knows when any time she's up for a parole hearing. Then it all comes up again." In court, Jackie's only brother James broke down as he talked about his sister's plan to follow in their late mother's footsteps to become a nurse. Those dreams ended when Forrizzi killed Smuroff in a hospital parking garage. Prosecutors say she snapped in a jealous rage when she mistakenly thought Smuroff was moving in on her boyfriend. Smuroff's brother is now hoping his sister will be remembered many years from now in 2031 when her killer could be up for parole. At this point, it's up to the Department of Corrections if Forrizzi will in fact be paroled. The judge says, in order for that to happen, Forrizzi would have to develop a serious sense of remorse. Olivia later gave birth to a baby boy, who went into the custody of the father. There were rumors that Ben was the father, but he said this was not true. And the father's name has never been disclosed. Jackie's cousin Lynette said by committing the crime that she did, she only revealed her own ugliness and revealed Jackie's beauty. It is a case that is as cold-blooded as they come, driven by jealousy, obsession, and an all-consuming hatred for two people that did absolutely nothing wrong. Jackie's family continue to volunteer to help with other missing persons cases and raise awareness. Her brother James said he knows his sister is with her mom now, and whenever his time may be, he'll get to see them again, which makes everything a little less sad and scary. When Jackie was first missing, Jackie's dad spent Father's Day searching for her. He said he was always so proud of how hard she had worked and how busy her life was. He had never asked his daughter to spend a single Father's Day with him. But now he wished he could turn back the clock and ask her for just one. Thank you for being with us on this episode of Tom's True Crime. If you are interested in more in-depth investigations into the most perplexing crimes, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. What are your thoughts about this case? Please share them with us in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe.